Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I recorded a video the other day and I don't know if I'll post it, but essentially like I did this video, but um, essentially what I did was I filmed a tarot reading, but my mic was not on the whole time. So this is take two. I don't know if take one will ever see the light of day. Um, But if it does, this is take two, so welcome back. Um, so for context, in my last video, I was discussing how I had a basic tarot card. I had a basic tarot deck, and I feel like I have made great strides in reading from it, and I feel like my relationship with the deck has grown tremendously over the years, and that I can interpret it very easily. So not to say like I mastered it, but I do feel a sense of accomplishment and I feel ready to move on to the relationships with my other decks. I have three total. So one of them I'm very familiar with. Um, this one I'm fairly, like, I'd say acquainted, like we're friends. And then I have another one that like is very intimidating to me and I've only read from it a couple of times because of how intense it is. And that third deck has a bunch of extra cards as well, so sometimes it gets a little difficult to make the reading because it's genuinely like cards I've never seen before. Okay, I'm trying to get you in a good spot so that you can hear me. That should be good, right? Okay, so this is my Sugar Skull deck, my tarot deck. Um, And I love this deck because, first of all, the illustrations are so gorgeous. So, shout out to Carolina Martinez. And then David Ross wrote the guidebook. And I like the guidebook a lot because I feel like the interpretations are very direct. So, there's a little less room for ambiguity and less room for inference, which is why I really enjoyed working with my first tarot deck because it helped me build that instinct and intuition. And I feel ready to move on to this deck because even though the interpretations are quite explicit, I still like to bring my own like experiences into it and my own reading, like my own interpretation. So first thing I always do is I will shuffle the deck. I don't believe there's any right or wrong way to shuffle a deck. There's not a right or wrong way to do tarot in general. It is truly like whatever feels right to you. So that's something like I had a really hard time coming to terms with because I'm a person who likes to follow the rules and know everything to a T. And in tarot, you just really can't like have answers like that. Like it really is about building that instinct. And instinct is a way of knowing. I consider it like training your reflexes or training your muscles. Like it's something that's very natural and it's a skill that can be built and trained. And it's very useful. It's very useful and insightful into who you are as a person, and I feel like you get to know yourself better and you get to kind of hear those voices of reason within you and explore doubts a lot of the time. And then also, of course, there's that spiritual connection that you're building as well. And I feel like the universe has a lot of energy in it, and the universe will always tell you what you need to hear, not always what you want to hear or like what you should hear. Like no, it's what you need to hear, which can be difficult sometimes, but also the universe is so forgiving. And if you ask it for something, I always believe the universe will provide it for you if you like truly put your faith and belief into it. And if you can visualize it, like anything is possible. So, in my last video, I talked a little bit about the only thing I dislike about this deck is that you can tell if the cards are going to be reversed or not based on the back. So that kind of gives it away sometimes. Um, but I don't like some people don't even do the reversed reading. So it's completely optional and like up to you. I like to interpret the reversed meaning. I feel like when a card is reversed, it means that your energy is almost there, but you're like something's blocking you, and usually it's me who's blocking myself. So, final thing I like to do before reading is cut the deck in half and just flip it. Just put one on top of the other. You've probably seen me do it like 8 times now, but okay. So today's reading, I did have questions about what I wanted to do, but first let's spark up, you guys. Harmony has joined us. Hey, sweetie. You guys can't see her, but she's down here. So personally, for me, where I live, it's legal. So let's start there. I'm not doing anything illegal in this video. This is medicinal. I do have a license. Like, it's okay. For me, it is definitely medicinal in the fact that like I need a way to relax and calm my anxieties, and also it's a bit spiritual for me. I feel like in my relaxation, it opens me up more to the universe and it opens up my energy. So that's why I like to partake. That's why I like to partake before a reading. I think it just kind of opens up my third eye, if you will. Okay. So, in my last reading, I did a past, present, future, and it gave me a lot of insight into what I was overcoming, what to expect in the month of May, and um, what challenges I was facing in the present. I think today, so I have some specific questions. One of them is I've noticed I'm on this self destructive path. And I was reading through my diary the other day, and I was rereading all these events that happened in succession. And I was like, oh my God, like, of course, a person like me would fall into this pattern of behavior because look at all the things that have been happening. Like, of course, I feel out of control. Of course, I'm spiraling a little bit. And I feel like I haven't taken the time to address some of those things that have been happening to me. So sometimes when I don't know what I want in a reading, the first thing I'll ask is, are there any messages for me? Like, is the universe trying to tell me something explicitly? So that's the first card I'm going to draw. And I got the Ten of Cups. And in the Ten of Cups, you can see a family, and then you see the 10 cups behind them. I'll be real, I usually don't pull cups. I'm more prone to pulling like pentacles and wands. So cups are still a new symbol for me, but this is definitely pointing to family ties and maybe even that perfect image of a family. So maybe the message that I'm trying to receive is that maybe I need to lean on my family a little more, or also maybe I need to stop chasing that image of perfection. So let's look into the guidebook to see. 10 of Cups. So the guidebook always begins with, sorry, my guidebook is falling apart, but it always begins with a picture of the card, a message describing what the card looks like, and then the basic reading as well as the reversed reading. So this is a description of the card. Trust me, they're smiling on the inside. The family portrayed sitting all firm and stoic are seated in front of 10 beautiful cups. The child holding the sugar skull as if holding a baby doll is loved more than you could know. The sugar skull symbolizes love and family at its zenith. It doesn't need to be large and exaggerated. It's perfect the way it is. The Ten of Cups is always a welcome card in a reading. It's the full expression and manifestation of all the Cups cards. It speaks to finding your soulmate, full love, strong connections, and a happy marriage. If you have a question about your family and this card shows up, consider it a very good sign. You have the romantic fulfillment you've been looking for, and you can consider yourself very blessed that you have such a supportive and loving circle of friends and family. That's very sweet. So I don't have any issues reading into this card. I do feel like I'm going to go into some personal topics here. Um, so obviously the cards love to talk about soulmates, especially this deck. This deck has, since I got it, so each deck has personality, right? Since I got this deck, the Sugar Skulls, it always reads my love life and it always reads the relationship that I hold with my boyfriend. And it's always relatively positive and trying to remind me that I have a good partner, essentially. So I feel maybe I've been neglecting that romantic relationship. And I think that is going to be the theme of this next reading. I've been feeling very lonely. I've been feeling numb and emotionally exhausted. And I've been feeling like I have a guard up. And even though I can be vulnerable and I can speak about what's important to me and I can hear others and hear what's important about them or what's important to them, for some reason, that final step where we should be connecting because we've been so open with each other and we've been so supportive of each other. For some reason, I don't get that connection. I don't feel connected after that. And I think that's been incredibly hard on me, especially in my romantic relationship. But this also affects me in my friendships as well. And I think I feel it more in my friendships. Like I really, really want to build a deeper connection with these people in my life. And for some reason I just can't connect. Like it's just it genuinely feels like you plug something into the wall and the plug just doesn't work. Like I feel like a broken plug. Like all all the ingredients for this connection to happen are there. It's literally just putting it in the oven and baking it, and it just that part, the oven doesn't work. I don't know. So yeah, I've also been exploring my dreams a little bit, and maybe I'll make some videos on that. Um, but my dream fortunes, I'll call them, my dream fortunes have been telling me essentially the same thing, that I'm definitely craving being seen and craving that connection. And so so in this reading I want to ask, like, how can I open myself up to that connection? So that's a good first one. How do I open myself up to that connection? What do I need to challenge in my mind? So how do I open up? What do I need to challenge? And finally, like, what's an action I can take? So I'll show you guys the cards I just pulled. So we have the Ace of Swords for how I can open up, the Five of Cups for what I need to challenge, and the Page of Cups reversed for, oh gosh, do we remember? For what actions I can take. Okay. Okay, well, firstly, I think this is quite literally talking about fishing. I was talking with my friend literally yesterday, and we were talking about how we want to go fishing so bad. So I think this might be literal. And that is so funny. That is so cute. Okay. The Ace of Swords. So, what do I need to do to open myself up to this change? This card definitely screams change to me. You can see the ray beams, or you can see the rays beaming behind the sugar skull. And the sugar skull is being pierced, but I think it's in like an honorable way. It doesn't seem like, it seems like victorious, and it doesn't necessarily feel like threatening. It doesn't feel like there's danger nearby, and there's birds in the background and clouds, and it's so beautiful. So I think the Ace of Swords is kind of speaking to recognizing all my victories and all my successes, which is something I do struggle with. Like, no matter how good I get at something, I always feel the need to improve, and it never feels like it's good enough. And so then, of course, that in turn turns to thoughts of me telling myself that I'm not good enough, that I never will be. So I think the Ace of Swords is kind of asking me to reflect and really like acknowledge and truly appreciate everything I've done for myself. And I'm sorry I'm getting so emotional. I mean, these things usually are because you hear these messages and it really makes you reflect on. I mean, this one's just making me reflect on like how cruel I've been to myself and how I wish I could give myself grace, and that's something my boyfriend tells me constantly. It's quite difficult to pierce a sugar skull flying among the clouds with a sword. It may take a couple times to get it just right. Don't be discouraged. The sugar skull, just like your new perspective, will eventually break through. Aces are beginnings, and the Ace of Swords is saying that you're on the verge of a breakthrough. You've received that aha moment from the universe, and your goals and desires are being seen with a refreshing new mental clarity. Maybe you've just figured out what you want to do with your life and want to tell all your family and friends about this realized truth. Swords can speak to communication, so it's possible you're considering a new career, one in which you're in the position to speak your truth and be very successful at it. So I think that's sweet. What do I need to do to open myself up? I quite literally need to open up. I mean, it's time for new beginnings, and it sounds like I've realized all the steps, and maybe it's true because in every reading I do, like, it is the same message every time, and I know the cause, right? I said it at the beginning. The cause is that I don't have that final connection, and so I think I need to really let down that wall and just let the connection be there, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, easier said than done, but maybe if I just start telling myself in my head that I already have this connection, we are already connected, like, our relationship is good, then maybe by speaking it enough, it'll come true. I mean, that's literally how I've gotten everything else I've ever wanted in life. Um, the next card. So that's what I need to do to open up. The next card is what challenges do I have to face? And specifically, I was thinking of like what thoughts in my head will I need to challenge? Okay, well, first let me interpret. So, the Five of Cups, you can obviously see this cowboy, this ranchero. He is standing amongst his cups. Some of them have spilled, some of them are still standing upright. And it looks like he might be dwelling on the ones that have spilled. And the energy is in the spill. The sugar skull appears in the liquid from the drinks. I don't know. I really don't know about this one. And you know what? That's okay to say. It's okay to say, like, this message isn't being received, you know? That's what the guide is for. Then it kind of broadens your horizons and you're like, oh, that actually does apply to me. So let's see. The Five of Cups. The sugar skull reflection from the spilled water is there to remind the lone figure that there is so much more to life than what is being experienced in the moment. Hopefully, the person will turn around and see the remaining upright cups and realize there's so much left to appreciate in life. The Five of Cups is aware that you have been through a very trying time. It's possible that a relationship has ended or something has occurred that would cause you feelings of despair and regret. Feelings of isolation and bitterness may be going through your mind, and you're wallowing in the sadness. If you look hard enough, you will still find things in your life that are positives, but they're hard to see. You have to look with a new perspective. Eventually, time does heal. I mean, I think that's kind of the basic message I was giving at the beginning that, like, even though these things have spilled, it's time, like, you should still recognize the stuff you have remaining, you know? So maybe I'm putting too much energy into the spill and into the past. Okay, without getting too heavy and deep into that, just know I did receive that message. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Like, I think it's so much easier said than done. But I think by making these videos and being vulnerable in these small moments and acknowledging things from the past so publicly and so forwardly is really going to be healing and allowing myself to let go of some of those things. So as my burden begins to lighten and lighten and lighten, eventually, like, we'll get to the root and to the bottom. Like, imagine this big boulder, and every day we're like digging down, digging down, digging down, and eventually we're going to be left with like this small pebble that I can finally just toss over my shoulder. So, pretty excited about this YouTube channel and like the direction it's going in. Um, Finally, Page of Cups. This is what actions can I take like right now to help build some of these relationships and overcome my fears. I think this means fishing, like quite literally. So, the Page of Cups, he has his little cup next to him, the sugar skull cup, and he has caught a fish. So this is a very positive card and very successful. So pretty too. I love that blue. All right, so let's look at the Page of Cups. The little boy catches a fish much larger than the sugar skull cup on the ground beside him. There's no way that fish will fit in the cup, but the child is beaming with exuberance nonetheless. The fish isn't just an ordinary fish, it represents creativity, dreams, or a beautiful message. The Page of Cups brings the message of an open and joyful heart. A love letter would be the perfect example of this card. The Page of Cups can also represent a new development or a new creative start. This card may indicate that new love is right around the corner, a love that makes you feel like you're a teenager again, or a dreamy love. At least it can also refer to a new birth or pregnancy. Let's read the reversed version of that because there will be no fucking pregnancies on my watch. We all let our emotions get the best of us, and if the Page of Cups reversed shows up in a tarot reading, chances are your view of love may be a bit immature. Love is a process, and you have to crawl before you can walk. Feelings of emotional instability and being overly sensitive are signs that your love needs to mature. If this card shows up in a reading that isn't about love, I would say that you're being creatively blocked and can't show the world what you're truly capable of, at least not now. I'm catching big fish out there. Big fish, but I didn't come prepared. So, that card is so frustrating, honestly. Like, it's kind of annoying when, I mean, like, I get it. Like, obviously, I do these readings so that I can grow as a person and, like, okay, I get it, right? But it can still be annoying. It can still be annoying that, like, I don't fully understand the card and, like, I don't have full clarity on it, even though the message is so explicit. It's still frustrating when you can't find a connection, like a good connection for it in your life. And that's what I mean about building your instincts and building your intuition. Intuition, not instincts. I mean, they're kind of similar, and you can't have one without the other, but in this moment, I think I'm talking specifically about intuition. You can't like it is a skill, right? At the end of the day. So when I pull these cards, and tarot reading is all intuition based, and I don't understand it, that's like, it's frustrating because it's a lack of my skill, not any like other person's, like it's not the universe not sending enough energy, right? Like we got these messages loud and clear. They just like are not resonating within me. So it's a bit frustrating when readings like that happen, but I think partially it could be directly talking about love, and yeah, maybe I do have childish expectations, but like I wouldn't agree with that. So that's definitely something I'll keep in mind, and like as the week progresses, I'll look into like my behaviors and how I act, and like especially my relationship, and kind of see like, is there any truth to that? And then also creativity being blocked. I kind of can see this. I think maybe this card might be speaking about how I am making all these videos and none of them have come out yet because I'm nervous, right? Like I'm scared. And sometimes this is cringy or like embarrassing or weird, or like sometimes I worry they're not going to do well uh because my biggest challenge that I need to overcome is I always think to myself, why would anyone care, right? Like, why would anyone give a fuck about me? And the truth is, I don't think anyone gives a fuck about me. And I'm sure, like, people will argue with me and be like, no, of course people care about you. But for me personally, like, I just don't feel that way. I feel like I feel like I don't have anything interesting to say. I feel like I'm a very boring person, and I'm scared that people will figure that out. And I'm scared people won't like who I really am. I'm also scared maybe I'm too loud, maybe I'm too weird, maybe I'm too gothic, maybe I'm too this or too that. And like, I'm just nervous that if I ever let anybody see the real me, they're not going to like it. And like, I have a really, really bad fear of rejection. So I think it's time to stop making excuses and just be myself truthfully. Because, kind of like, what's the point of continuing if I'm not going to do that? What's the point of living a life where I'm not honest with myself and what I want and who I am? And if I lose everyone in my life, like, I already self isolate so much that it feels like I'm alone, anyways. But surely there's a part of my subconscious that knows that that's not true. Otherwise, why would I be so scared of losing it? So, food for thought. Thank you guys for being here with me today and doing this tarot reading. Please let me know in the comments what you think this reading meant, and I may or may not read them. I'll be real, I'm very scared of feedback. And hopefully it's all positive. But if I ever get a hate comment, like that's it for me. I'm done. All right. Anyways, bye.